Hello and welcome back to this playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition with our rogue dwarf here. I was thinking about going off to Val Royeaux, or actually first I wanted to go to the Storm Coast, then to Val Royeaux. But first I think we should talk to people. I haven't talked to anybody yet. It's about time we talk to some people.
Ugh.
I think you need practice dummies made of sturdier stuff.
That would be nice.
Like maybe iron.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a madwoman, a fool. And they may be right.
What does your faith tell you?
I believe you are innocent. I believe more is going on here than we can see. And I believe no one else cares to do anything about it. They will stand in the fire and complain that it is hot. But is this the Maker's will? I can only guess.
You don't think I'm the Herald of Andraste?
I think you were sent to help us. I hope you were. But the Maker's help takes many forms. Sometimes it's difficult to discern who it truly benefits, or how.
What's going to happen now?
Now, we deal with the Chantry's panic over you before they do even more harm. Then we close the breach. We are the only ones who can. After that, we find out who is responsible for this chaos, and we end them. And if there are consequences to be paid for what I have done, I pay them. I only pray the price is not too high.
Isn't it a bit late to worry about it now?
We have only just begun. My trainers always said, Cassandra, you are too brash. You must think before you act. I see what must be done, and I do it. I see no point in running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. But I misjudged you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
Can't say I'm not grateful to hear that.
I can be harsh, I know. I'm curious. Do you even believe in the Maker?
You're asking a dwarf?
You're a surface dwarf. I've known some, like Varric, who... I suppose it doesn't matter now. I have to believe we were put on this path for a reason, even if you do not. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us.
Well, I was glad to see that unique unique dialogue there for a dwarf. And she didn't have any approval or disapproval there. That's interesting. Oh, wait a minute, Cullen. Oh, no, wait a minute. Cullen's inside, isn't he? Isn't he talking to Roderick? Yes, he's dealing with Roderick. Did I get anything?
Walk safely, Herald of Andraste.
Probably not. Nope.
Good luck sealing those rifts.
Let's talk to the other dwarf out here.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
I think she's generally an optimistic kind of person. That's kind of why she's so humorous and takes things in stride so well.
I'm just glad I'm still standing after all that.
I still can't believe you survived Cassandra. You're lucky you were out cold for most of her frothing rage. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
I'm still not sure I believe any of this is really happening.
If this is all just the Maker winding us up, I hope there's a damn good punchline coming. You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky... that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Though you had granted them power over the very fade itself.
You know what? We should probably talk to Flissa.
Though they could do anything.
I knew the surface dwarves had lost the stone. Didn't expect them to
Start what?
You're disappointed?
Maybe I would have been if I was still down in Orsimar.
It's just what I heard.
It's already harder for me to hear the stone. Any dwarf born on the surface never has a chance. If they find some happiness with your maker, where's the harm? And if the Herald of Andraste is a dwarf, well, at least she's reminding the lot of you that the rest of us is
Lost some of that dialogue. I'm not even sure who was talking.
Yes, sir.
I guess this guy over here. Let's talk to Flissa.
Oh, Mika, you're here. You're the Herald of Andraste. And you were sent to remind us that we failed to support the dwarves when the Darkspawn attacked. I think dwarves are very respectable. And I've always liked stone. I'm Flissa. Can I get you a drink?
It's all right, Flissa. I won't do anything frightening.
If you wanted to close the breach, I wouldn't mind. As I said, I'm Flissa. The Inquisition soldiers needed a place to unwind, so Leliana brought me in to set up a tavern. Nothing fancy, but it's safer for the soldiers than looking for trouble in some village.
You said Liliana asked you to run an Inquisition tavern. How did you meet?
Dumb luck, maybe. I managed an inn back in Denerim. When I heard interesting gossip, I passed word to Liliana. Sometimes it was helpful. She asked if I wanted to own my own tavern, and I said yes. I didn't realize she meant this.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Kind of like to tell that singer to shut the hell up. Alright. Gonna talk about some heroes some more, huh?
The chosen of Andraste. A blessed hero sent to save us all.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffon, but sadly they're extinct. Joke as you will, posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars, both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
Hopefully the kind who lives to become that embarrassing former hero everyone has to put up with.
I can think of worse fates. I will stay then. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating, but you understand my caution.
The giant hole in the sky trumps any other concerns. We can worry about the rest later.
Yes. Who can say what this world will look like when we are done fighting for it? But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
Nope. Yep. Nope.
Your kind killed the most holy.
Lies. Your kind let her die.
Shut your mouth, mate!
Enough!
Knight Commander!
That is not my title. We are not Templars any longer. We are all part of the Inquisition.
And what does that mean, exactly?
Back already, Chancellor. Haven't you done enough?
I'm curious, Commander, as to how your Inquisition and its herald will restore order as you've promised.
Of course you are. Back to your duties, all of you.
Mages and Templars were already at war. Now they're blaming each other for the Divine's death.
Which is why we require a proper authority to guide them back to order.
Who? You? Random clerics who weren't important enough to be at the Conclave?
The Rebel Inquisition and its so-called Herald of Andraste? I think not.
I don't know. The Inquisition seems about as functional as any young family.
How many families are on the verge of splitting into open warfare with themselves?
Yes, because that would never happen to the Chantry.
Centuries of tradition will guide us. We are not the upstart, eager to turn over every apple cart.
Remind me why you're allowing the Chancellor to stay.
Clearly, your Templar knows where to draw the line.
He's toothless. There's no point turning him into a martyr simply because he runs at the mouth. The Chancellor's a good indicator of what to expect in Val Royeaux, however.
How widespread is the violence between mages and Templars?
Impossible to say.
Your organization flouting the Chantry's authority will not help matters.
With the Conclave destroyed, I imagine the war between mages and Templars is renewed with interest.
The mages and Templars are fighting, even though we don't know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
Exactly why all this should be left to a new divine. If you are innocent, the Chantry will establish it as so.
Or we'll be happy to use someone as a scapegoat.
You think nobody cares about the truth? We all grieve Justinia's loss.
But you won't grieve if the Herald of Andraste is conveniently swept under a carpet.
Don't let anyone riot while we're gone.
The walls will be standing when you return, I hope.
I did not see good Templars and evil mages in that circle, sister. I saw prisoners and jailers. The prisoners learned fear, and the jailers cruelty.
But the Templars serve the Chantry.
Until we asked them to be less harsh in their treatment of the mages, at which point they rebelled. I am not certain the Chantry should ever have been backed by blades.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. Blessed are the righteous, the lights in the shadow. In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? blood. To die so that your will is done, is death your only blessing? You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
I speak for no one but myself, and I have no answers for you.
You probably don't even worship the Maker. Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
I'm sorry. Her death has clearly hit you hard.
Not just me. All of us. She was the Divine. She led the faithful. She was their heart. If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the Divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Maybe you have another purpose. I could help you find it.
No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come. To work, then. We will speak later.
He's gonna go off and tell her about the assassination.
Seeing these injuries. I was with the Templars. I can tend any wound caused by blade or a mage's fire. I'll admit that demons are new, though.
Heaven has been filled with silence. I knew then. and
Researcher
crossed
Minave
my
wishes to
heart
verify that the
shame.
infections have decreased in number. Yes. Thank you for your help. Tell me. Greetings,
Oops.
Herald of Andraste.
Oh well.
How fares your quest to seal the breach? Well, you know how these things go. At least I hope someone does. You laugh to bring a little light into the darkness. And I'm glad to see it. Too many see laughter as antithetical to the chant of light. They imagine Andraste as a grim warrior all her life, forgetting that she loved and was loved in return. I hope she found time for laughter during her trials, as I hope you do.
You keep talking as though I'm the equal of Andraste. Do you know how unnerving that is?
I can only imagine. But we are all given to our purpose under the Maker. A sword does not ask to be forged. And frankly, if such a comparison gives you pause, I do not see that as a bad thing. In any case, I pray this Inquisition proves less brutal than its predecessor.
Can you tell me about the original Inquisition?
The original Inquisition was formed after the First Blight, well before the Chantry as we know it. The Inquisitors were hunters, zealots, who tracked and killed cultists and dangerous mages. As Andraste rose to power, the Inquisition came into her service. Instead of hunting those who would do harm, the Inquisitors spread the chant of light by force.
No wonder everyone is so nervous around us. Who chose that name?
Divine Justinia herself. I understand that this was not a popular decision. In any case, Once the chant of light had spread far and wide, there was less need for zealots. The Inquisitors became the seekers of truth, and eventually the Templars.
This is a dark chapter of history for the Divine to revisit.
Do you know what impresses me most about the original Inquisition? They fought horrific battles, killed and died for their cause, and when it was time, they put their swords away. Perhaps the name was divine, Justinia's message, that when the Inquisition is needed, it will strike without mercy. But when its work is done, it will put its sword away.
You know, I grew up around humans, but I never learned much about the Chantry. Can you tell me about it?
Well, thank you for the codex entry. Thank you for telling me about the Chantry hierarchy.
Of course. Too many think that the chant of light should only be sung by humans. The truth is that knowledge of the Maker and Andraste should be open to all who wish to learn of him. We believe the Maker created us, and that mankind's sinful nature caused him to turn away. With Andraste's blessing, the Maker will forgive mankind once the chant of light is sung from all corners of this world.
I think the reason I got those codex entries is because, well, normally I just run around and read all this stuff around here, but I've decided to put it off until I can get some extra XP. We have a perk we can pick, an Inquisition perk, and then one I want to pick is extra XP for reading codex entries.
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only succeeds when it carries the will of the people. Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An exalted march is justified only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
What about the exalted march that conquered the elves?
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the Chantry. The elves had conquered Montsemard and threatened Val Royeaux itself. They were not helpless victims. But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Why does the Chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned further from the Maker than humanity. And as for men, the chant holds that they are more vulnerable to anger or passion. But in truth, it is simply political, added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the current state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the Chantry once we had saved them from starving.
Farewell.
Farewell.
That can't be it. Perhaps Leliana was... No, that seems unlikely. How can... Oh, hello, Mistress Kadash.
Hello. Hello? Hello?
Something on your mind, Ambassador?
You could say that. I was speaking with Leliana and... Well, we discussed how to make people understand that a dwarf could be a herald of Andraste.
Is being a dwarf so controversial?
Everything about you promises to be controversial. Dwarves rarely join the Chantry. Why would the Maker's Chosen be one, they wonder? Few realize dwarves even have a religion in their philosophy of the stone.
Most humans don't know about the stone.
I've dined with merchants from Orzammar. Those few at court are happy to enlighten us. They explained that dwarves believe stone is alive, that good dwarven souls return to it in death. It was interesting, even if the Chantry mothers found it less than amusing.
Yeah, I don't know how much she knows about the stone.
I never paid much attention to any of that stone stuff.
That's fortunate. The Chantry is already worried about the mark on your hand.
I wish I could help convince them I'm not a threat.
There are stories about your past that may make it difficult. Leliana was telling me rumors that... it sounds preposterous, but... there are stories circulating that you were part of a criminal organization. The Dwarven Carta.
I was hoping that secret would keep a little longer.
You mean... well, this complicates things. Were you only smuggling at least? Exchanging a few goods on the surface?
What makes you think I've never been to Orzammar?
I thought you were without a caste. It was my understanding that dwarves born on the surface are casteless and barred from Orzammar.
That's what the noble houses say. Some dwarves sneak in anyhow. I never did. The Carta kept me busy.
Yes, about that. I do need to know the extent of your involvement in the Carta's activities.
I don't know what this would say. Don't really get it.
The castless don't have many opportunities. I did what I had to. Not everyone grew up with a title and 3 square meals a day.
No, of course not. I would dearly like to avoid rumors growing out of hand. I'll handle the subject of your past carefully, Herald. I'm sure you can't miss that life.
You're not interested in a dashing dwarven rogue who lived at the edge of the law?
A dashing rogue?
What?
We can't quash rumors you were with the Carta, but if a more interesting one comes along... Thank you for the talk. I must ask Varric to draft something.
That's great.
That will help.
Yes, it definitely will, because I just leveled up. Ooh. Ooh. Don't I get a... Yes! Boy, that took a while. What can we do with this? What can we do? Oh, you know what? I really think this would be good. Plus it gives me +3 dexterity. +3 dexterity, and that one's cunning, and that one's dexterity. This I would like too, to be able to move faster. Right now this is my dodge move. This is my opening move. And this is for when they're grouped together. But this looks good because it increased damage for every hit. You just start working on some of this stuff. I would like to get this evade move. This takes forever to cool down. How long does it take? 24 seconds? That's a long time. I like that and that right there, hidden step. I don't know what that means. You move directly through the shadows to attack or retreat as needed. Does that mean you go into stealth when you hit this? If that were the case, why would you ever use stealth? I don't know. And this one looks like it's really good. That might be good too for sundering. Nah. 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 Well, it's nice, but I don't want to play where I'm just continuously pausing the game and looking around. I don't like playing that way. And so I don't know who's asleep or panicked or whatever. I'm just shooting at people. Anyway, let's take a look in here. Maybe we should get some nobility knowledge. Now, let's go for arcane knowledge. I would like to get this deft hand thing. For that, I need 4 points in category. But I can get some agents for her. Alright, let's check in on what all everybody's gotten for us. Got a Ferelden Captain Longsword. We got some influence. He'll be in touch. Some money. Alright, I think I wanted to use Liliana here.
Let's see what we have.
How much does this cost? 4? Oh, well, I'm going to open it up. Well, she didn't sound very enthusiastic. Liliana sounds much more enthusiastic. So now I don't have enough power to go here. And I don't have enough power to go there. But it's easy enough to get some power. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go get some power. First, let's go here. I did want to check it out before being approached by the chargers. See if they're there. Don't really want to do anything there.
Your worship, for what it's worth, welcome to the Storm Coast. I would have sent word sooner, but our efforts have been delayed.
How so?
There's a group of bandits operating in the area. They know the terrain, and our small party has had trouble going up against them. Some of our soldiers went to speak with their leader. Haven't heard back, though.
Of course you haven't.
The soldiers didn't have an exact location for the bandits, but they were starting their search farther down the beach. With all this fuss, we haven't been able to conduct a proper search for the wardens either. Well, good luck, and enjoy the sea air. I hear it's good for the soul.
Search for the wardens. I think we've come here too soon. Because nobody's told us about the wardens disappearing. Yeah, Liliana won't tell us that until we get back from Val Royeaux. Alright, so they're not down there. I didn't think they would be. Well, that's all we're going to do here in the Storm Coast. Let's go here. We got to go talk to Master Dennett about the horses. So we can get our additional 1 power by setting up that camp next to Dennett's farm. So that's what we're going to do.
Word for you.
Not interested in your word. Well, as long as we're here, might as well go get this shard. You were just standing out there, huh? Hello. I wish you were a ram. I need some rams. Is that a ram or another fennec? It's a fennec. Clomp, 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 clomp.
No normal wolf would fight with such determination.
The breach may have driven them mad. Or perhaps a demon took command of the pack.
Oh, I should mention, you notice these effects around us. I crafted Solus a new staff. I gave him one of those encore staves, staves, whatever. Still don't have hardly any cloth, so I couldn't give him any armor. I probably have a goodly amount of leather, so I could probably craft some armor for Varric, but don't really see the point, since I'm not going to really be taking Varric anywhere. I'm going to take him right now. To have a full party, but later on I don't think we really need him.
I'll camp here?
Yes, we can, and in fact we're going to. I am going to be the rogue in the party, and I don't think we really need more than one rogue. So we got more power, right? Yes, we got the power we need. So, it's back to Skyhold. And
my creator, judge me whole. Find me well within.
You know what? I think what I'm gonna do is we'll end this episode here, and we'll pick up Val Royo in the next episode. Meanwhile, Mika here is gonna run around Skyhold and read stuff and gain some more XP. So, until then, have a nice day.